Hey guys, I'm back. I'm going to review each Premier League team for their first Premier League games of the season. So let's start with Arsenal. Scrappy 1-0 win against United. I feel like that game we got dominated. But if it weren't for Ray and his brilliant saves in that game, we would have actually not lost that game. Overall, we scored from set pieces because we are set pieces. FC, you get me? Good win. Scrappy win, but 1-0 and a clean sheet, which was most important, especially in the first game of the season against your rivals, Manchester United. Second game, sometimes it's not about the performance, it's about the results that you get. So obviously coming into United, we all thought it's going to be one of them games. It's a tough start to the season. So United gave us a challenge, but we literally had to learn from it. Great that Calafiori scored, and obviously shows how good we are in corners. Second game versus Leeds. Brilliant 5-star performance, 5-0 win against the promoted Leeds, who was coming off of their 1-0 win against Everton. Timber scoring 2, Gyökeres scoring 2, and Saka scoring. And it was a great opportunity for us to bounce back. And we actually got 3 points again, so that made it 6. I think it was a dominant home performance in terms of like everyone playing. So the turning point of that game, I think, was Raya making a save in the Leeds corner. And then we just scored 2 quick goals in the first half from Timber, Saka, and then Gyökeres got on the score sheet. And honestly, it was a great goal to score your first goal in the MS and for the club. It just showed that Gyökeres, we know what he's capable of. He loves them in behind runs, and he knows what his dribbling is capable of, and he can literally get into the edge of the box and bang it in. It was a great goal for him. And apparently, I'm hearing that he's our penalty taker, so that even makes it 10 times better. So I've seen his penalties in Sporting quality, and I feel like Gyökeres is going to take him time to settle in with the club, but I feel like he's doing well. He's done really well, and it was a great win against Leeds, making it 2 wins in 2. And then that day even was better because when we signed Eze from Crystal Palace for about 68 mil, it was the perfect signing. Obviously, we heard that Eze got released when he was 13 years old in Arsenal when he was young, but when he came back, it was a dream come true, and it was a perfect signing. Like the songs just let it all work out, and it has like bringing Eze back to his club, that his boyhood club, back to his club that he missed was crucial. And I feel like our window was very good. We bought a winger, we bought a striker that we needed, we bought some centre backs recruitment for the club, and I think like it was a great transfer window for us. Now, the last 72 hours, I had to really think about this Liverpool game. In my opinion, I was disappointed in that Liverpool game. I feel like I'd rather take a draw than lost. But don't get me wrong, I feel like in that game we were the dominant side against Liverpool. But then the lineup had questions. Moreno starting. I didn't like the idea of Moreno starting that game. I really didn't like the idea of Moreno starting. I feel like Moreno, he is a box-to-box player, and he is an impact player when he comes off the bench. I feel like he's not a starter yet for me. He still needs time to adjust himself. Like the amount of mistakes he made in that game against Liverpool was really awful. Martinelli starting, and this is the question that everyone's saying. I feel like Martinelli's just not ready for this club. This number 11 shirt has really. I feel like it's too big of a number because you know what number 11s are capable of, and I feel like that's just a huge number to carry on your weight. Look, don't get me wrong, I loved Martinelli in his years of 35. When he was wearing that number 35 shirt, he was a baller at that time. When we had Aubameyang and Nketiah and all them lot. I just feel like we missed that old Martinelli, how he was when he had that number 35 shirt. He hasn't even scored that much throughout the season, looking back at it. And it's just a really sign of a concern. I would have loved, it just asked questions about Moreno in that lineup. I feel like Odegaard should have started because I know he was coming back from a shoulder injury, but I feel like we needed him in such a crucial game. Despite he came on in the second half with 20 minutes to go, with Eze coming on the last 20 minutes as well. It was just a poor performance. I feel like we had chances in that game But what was annoying that we just had one mistake. We made one mistake just to let Liverpool capitalise and score an absolute worldie of a free kick from Szoboszlai, and I feel like we let ourselves down because it's Arteta's judgment sometimes. I don't think Arteta knows when to put a sub when we need it the most. I feel like he should have brought Odegaard and Eze at the start of the second half. If the first half is 0-0 or the game's still 0-0 and you want to change the game with the last 20 minutes and bringing our two key players, it's poor judgment. I'm sorry, it's poor judgment. You can't bring on Eze and Odegaard with 20 minutes to go. You should have brought them on like the 60th minute or something. All the fans have been begging and crying for them to come on. Cool, Eze come on, he's had an impact in the game and he actually done way more than Martinelli did. The worst part was Bosley was playing right back and he was a centre mid, and Martinelli didn't even win his battles against Bosley, and it was a sign of concern. The boy, I feel like Martinelli overcomplicates stuff and it's just so bad. And he brought me back when I was watching Robbie Lau's daughter, Kenya, and his interview way back when she mentioned about Moreno starting that Bournemouth game when we lost 2-0 last season. That was the thing. You bring a box-to-box player, but he's just not it. It's not good enough. It's just not. Honestly, it just brought me question to my head. Like, despite Odegaard coming back from a shoulder injury and all that, I wanted him to start. I feel like if Odegaard started the game, we would have had a chance to win that game. Liverpool didn't even create that much, except for that free kick Szoboszlai scored. It was just crazy. And I feel like if we had the draw in that game, we would have stayed undefeated in the league, and I would have even minded that at all. But conceding that free kick, and he's got an absolute worldie against us, out of all teams, it's just poor. Absolutely poor. Like, I just had to rewatch the highlights again and again, just thinking what went wrong. Now, don't get me wrong, Madueke had a great game at right wing, competing against Kirkes. Like, he had more of the ball. He did beat him in his runs, but it's just so annoying to get a defeat just before international break when you could either have two wins and one draw instead of just two wins and one lost. Liverpool are so lucky when it comes to scoring last minute goals. It was just annoying me so much that I feel like we should have got a draw against Liverpool and nothing else.
I'm just looking at the league.
Oh, because you're you're actually a dickhead, you know that, right?
You're recording.
I'm doing this on AFTV. What's wrong with you? Dickhead. Sorry about that. Bit of a distraction. Yeah. So honestly, the first 3 games, I feel like the first 2 were good wins. Like the first game against United was a scrappy win. The one against Leeds, we dominated, deserved the performance. Liverpool, we deserved the draw, not a loss. And it was just disappointing that we came out with 2 wins and 1 draw, 2 wins and 1 loss. When I'd rather have 2 wins and 1 draw, just because it doesn't matter if we had like 7 points and we still undefeated. We still develop as a team. We develop as a team. We can't just give away just stupid fouls when you know a team can do something outrageous from it, which is crazy. You get me? So that's what I think about Arsenal's first 3 games. Obviously, in the next couple of games coming up, Forest, Athletic, Man City, Port Vale, then Newcastle. That's a big September ahead. Games are going to come in thick and fast. How is Arteta going to readjust the squad for each game? And this is the month that I think is the crucial more than October for me. This month, you got big teams like Forest. You got big teams like Manchester City. You got Newcastle now. But then we got Champions League and Carabao Cup. So we're gonna see how is he gonna adjust each team each week. Are these new signings gonna get their minutes? Because I'm expecting people like Ethan, Marskelly, Dalman to play for the Carabao Cup against Port Vale this month. I'm expecting Champions League. I'm expecting the Premier League and Champions League to have a stronger squad, obviously. But I need them to actually like give Eze a chance and let him start a game and bench Martinelli. And Martinelli could come on as a sub. I don't care. But this month, September, is going to prove how we are as a club and how Mikel Arteta's judgment in each game is going to come out and the outcome of it. So this game's going to prove to us fans what is Mikel's judgment and what's his game plan for each game coming up. So that leads me to Villa. 1 draw, 2 losses, and I'll be honest with you, they are struggling. 0-0 against Newcastle, lost to Brentford 1-0, and lost to Crystal Palace 3-0. And I'm sorry, that is just a bad start. They struggled against Newcastle 0-0 with 10 men. They struggled against Brentford as well. But that Crystal Palace last game, was absolute domination from Palace. They deserved it all day long. And Unai Emery's got a lot to do. They just got Jadon Sancho alone, and they got Harvey Elliott. Literally Harvey Elliott from Liverpool. Right. So if I was Brentford, if I was Aston Villa, they need to pattern up because their next game is against Everton. So that's what I think about Aston Villa. So next team is Bournemouth. Bournemouth. So they have 2 wins and 1 losses. Their first game against Liverpool, I thought was an absolute cracker of a game. Despite Liverpool won 4-2, Bournemouth they got 1 star player, Semenyo, and Evan Nielsen. I think 2 crucial players for them. And Semenyo put an absolutely brilliant performance against Liverpool. But the fact that Bournemouth conceded 2 late goals, I just felt sorry for them because a draw would have been deserved to Bournemouth, 100%. And then they bounced back with a 1-0 win against Wolves, which I thought they needed that after the loss against Liverpool. And then they beat Tottenham 1-0. And that was an impressive victory by Bournemouth. They dominated all game. Spurs didn't really create that much. And literally, I thought 2 wins and 1 losses. Bournemouth are starting to bounce back as a team. And pick up to them for that. Now, Brentford. What was Brentford? So, Brentford, they had 1 loss, 2 losses, and 1 win. And Brentford, they are losing key players. They've just lost Wissa to Newcastle. They've lost Mbeumo to Manchester United. And now, it's just really, really struggling times for them. Looking back at that game against Forest destroyed them 3-1. Honestly, destroyed them 3-1. But then they were able to bounce back against Aston Villa with a 1-0 win thanks to the new sign David Otuba, their new signing from Bournemouth. And then they lost 2-1 to Sunderland when they were 1-0 up. And I felt so sorry for them because Sunderland just came from behind to take them 3 points when they were 1-0 up. And Brentford still got a lot of work to do. They got Reiss Nelson signing on loan from us. And I feel like that's going to be a crucial signing for Reiss Nelson. He will get minutes. And it will be a chance for him to prove what he's capable of as a boy. So that's what I think about Brentford. I think without Thomas Frank, Brentford is going to struggle. But they got a lot to keep up with this Keith Andrews manager. Now, Burnley, 1 win, 2 losses. Looking back at their game, the first game of the season against Tottenham, they got destroyed 3-0 badly. They really, really got destroyed badly. That game against Sunderland, they bounced back with a 2-0 win. And honestly, I didn't even see that coming. I actually didn't even see that coming. I feel like with us, I feel like with them, obviously Burnley, it was a good home win. It was their first home game of the season, and they done well in that one. And that game against United, they got unfortunate. I feel like they deserved the draw against United because United was shocking in that 3rd game against them. But they scored 2 good goals. So it was sad for them to lose in the last minute thanks to Bruno Fernandes penalty. But I feel like Burnley will start to bounce back as a team. Next team will be... Let's see. Next team. Cool. Next team is Crystal Palace. No, actually Chelsea. And Chelsea are still undefeated in the Premier League. 2 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw. So that 0-0 game against Palace was technically a 50-50 game, but I feel like both teams were going at it. That game against West Ham, they had to bounce back, and what a win for them. Their new sign is João Pedro, that Estefano guy. They won comfortably, and honestly, it just shows signs of West Ham that they are struggling in this Premier League. But what a win for them. Well, with Chelsea, a dominant 5-1 win. João Pedro showing what he's capable of, and they literally shined in that game all day long. Then they faced Fulham in the West London derby and they won comfortably 2-0. And João Pedro, he is the guy to watch out for in this Premier League. This João Pedro guy, what a signing, what a striker. And honestly, he's going to bring so much for this team. Chelsea are actually one team to watch out for in this season. So keep an eye out. Now, it moves on to Crystal Palace. And Crystal Palace have one win and 2 draws. Crystal Palace, first game, 0-0 against Chelsea. And like I said, that game was a 50-50 game. Second game, drew to Nottingham Forest, which was interesting. Obviously, they have no Eze now thanks to Arsenal buying him. But they bought Yeremy Pino and they kept their captain Mark Gahey now because he's not going to Liverpool anymore. But they had a good 1-1 draw against Forest, and I felt like it was both teams going at it again. But yeah. And then their last game against Villa, and what a performance for them. Mark Gahey scoring a beautiful goal as their captain. Gahey scoring a brilliant goal. Sarr can't stop scoring. Like this is Sarr and Mateta are the key players for Crystal Palace in my opinion. Like without Eze, it's just going to be more tough. But I feel like Sarr and Mateta are the key players for Crystal Palace, honestly. Great win, dominant performance, and it just showed that Palace are still. Now they've got the Conference League. Palace, it's going to be very, very challenging to see how they develop in Conference League and how they're going to develop in Premier League. That's their first time playing in European football. You get me, on a Thursday as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how their manager is going to develop in the Conference League and the Premier League at the same time. Now, next team, Everton. And Everton, 2 wins and 1 loss. Obviously, it was an unfortunate loss to Leeds for Everton. When I was even watching that game as well, I felt sorry for them. It was a harsh handball, in my opinion. I just felt like the handball, when it hit Tarkowski in the side and he was leaning, it felt harsh. But it looked like a 0-0 game, in my opinion. But they gave away a penalty and all that. But Everton's new home stadium, the Lee Dickinson Stadium, what a stadium. And they won 2-0 against Brighton, and I thought that was a dominant display. Grealish showed what he's capable of in both games. Going to Brighton, away to Wolves. He already got 2 assists in both. He's got 4 assists, 2 in each game. And it just showed that number 18 for Everton is so special. For Rooney, for all these players that used to wear it. And Grealish is a starter, and I feel like that's the key player that Everton needed. Like Grealish is already proven what he's capable of. And honestly, Everton, bouncing back from that first loss, they're doing good. Doing very, very good. Now, Brighton. 1 win, 1 draw, 1 loss. Obviously, the first game of the season, they drew to Fulham, and I thought it was a fair result in both teams going at it. Their second game against Everton, they got destroyed badly. I felt sorry for Welbeck when he got a penalty saved on Pickford. I feel like they should have, done better. It was a poor performance from Brighton all day long. But then they bounced back against City, and it was the same result as last season when they won 2-1. And they came from behind after Haaland scored the first goal in that game. So big up to them for doing that, because honestly, that was a huge win for them, especially at home. Because I feel like the game against Fulham, they got robbed at the last minute. But they had luck. Now they're lucky you got the win from it. Next team. Let's talk about who are we talking about now? Yeah, so let's talk Everton, Fulham. Fulham's got now 0 losses, 2 draws, and 1 loss. Looking back at their first game, obviously against Brighton, it was a lucky escape for Fulham from escaping the loss, and he scored in the last minute thanks to the star man Rodrigo Muniz, and I feel like he is a good player for Fulham. They drew 1-1 against Man United, and I felt like they did a good second half against United. Smith Rowe, the 2 Arsenal former players, combining. And then they lost to Chelsea, and I felt like it was a poor performance. They got robbed. And one thing about VAR is they don't know how to do the job properly, because they were 1-0 up against Chelsea, and it was not even offside apparently. So it's peak. It's peak for Fulham. It's just tough times for them. So hopefully they can bounce back with their manager Marco Silva. Now, Leeds. Leeds are having a okay start to the Prem. Obviously, they won 1-0 against Everton thanks to that penalty. They lost to Arsenal very badly, 5-0. And then they drew to Newcastle. So it's been an alright start for Leeds. Now, Liverpool, the champions. The first 3 games. 4-2 against Bournemouth, 3-2 against Newcastle, 1-0 against Arsenal. They're still undefeated. They're top of the league, 3 wins. Are Liverpool starting to become now the kings of scoring last minute goals? Because every team has scored against them, which is Bournemouth and Newcastle, and except from us. But now they got the signing of Alexander Isak, and is that the player they need to retain the Premier League? Isak has come to Liverpool to win trophies, and that's going to be a challenge. People think the league's already over because Liverpool bought Isak, but don't underestimate Liverpool every single time, because their defending can be so poor sometimes. Konate, he's not putting that performance that he is. Cool, they score goals, but defending-wise, it's been bad. No wonder Bournemouth and Newcastle scored against them and we couldn't. But like I said, anything can happen in this Premier League. But everyone's thinking Liverpool could already win the Premier League because they got Isak, they got an elite for attack, which they do. But a defeat will come in between the league. Not every team's going to be undefeated in the Premier League. There's going to be a loss. Even if it's like 1 game lost or something, there is going to be a defeat, even for the big teams. So keep an eye out for that. I wouldn't say Liverpool will win the Prem. I said Arsenal to win the Prem and Liverpool to be second. But anything could happen. Now, Manchester City. 1 win, 2 losses. Pep, what's going on? So they won against flipping Wolves 4-0, and what a dominant performance. Their new signing Reinders with a goal and assist. What a performance for him. What a away debut. That's how you start your debut for Manchester City. Haaland scoring again, and then Cherki scoring. And that was a good win for them. Dominant performance. Then they lost to Tottenham 2-0. And honestly, that game really, really surprised me. Because I was expecting City to beat Tottenham, but you can't not underestimate Tottenham because they've always beaten City in the last recent games, and it's been crazy. The fact it was their first home game and they lost as well, it was ouch. And then Brighton losing 2-1 when they were 1-0 up. And it's the same thing again. What is going on with City? They love to score first, but how come teams just come from behind just to beat them? And we thought City were going to be the team to watch out for. But, like I said, who knows what could happen in this Premier League. Now, this team, Manchester United, and you are so lucky, Manchester United. So lucky. So, first game against us, obviously you lost 1-0, but you dominated us in the whole game. I'll give you that. If it weren't for Raya, you lot would have beaten us so badly. That game against Fulham, lucky escape. That was a poor pen from Bruno. If he scored that, you lot would have won 2-1 comfortably. Boom. But then Lennon Euro scored from a set piece, and then Smith Rowe scored against you lot. And then you lot lost to Grimsby. I'm not going to say that again. I didn't see that match coming. I actually thought we're going to dominate that performance against Grimsby. And even you put your strong squad out there, so I did not see that coming. And then the fact you lot were 2-0 down to 2-2 and then went to penalties and lost to 12-11, the cracks were starting to open. And then questions were asked to Ruben Almiron, what was going on? And then you won Burnley 3-2. And I'll be honest with you, that game was a close game. Close game. Honestly. But at the same time, you lot got Mbeumo and you got Cunha, and they are your 2 crucial signings, and they're going to be the stars for your team. But let me talk to you, Almiron. Give Mainu minutes. What's wrong with Mainu not getting minutes? You let this Ugarte guy get more minutes than Mainu. I'm sorry, what? Mainu has more composure in that midfield than Ugarte. Just saying, this is just my opinion. Now, Newcastle, 2 draws, 1 loss. That draw against Villa was that Villa game was 0-0. And it just showed without Isak, them lot are gonna struggle. But then they bought Wissa, they bought Watatunde, they put Jacob Ramsey, and they bought that guy from AC Milan. So that was a good signings for Newcastle. Will they be able to bounce back? That's the question. I thought they were going to nick a draw against Liverpool, but if it went for that last-minute goal from Rio, it would have been fortunate. And then they lost. They drew to Leeds 0-0. And honestly, that game was just a boring game. It's just a boring game. Now, next team. And now, Sunderland is the next team. Congratulations to Sunderland. They done well. Very well. What a performance against West Ham to start the season. 3-0 dominant home performance, especially in that second half. West Ham got smashed, but Sunderland deserved it. And especially with their captain Granit Xhaka back in the Premier League. Big up to him. They done well. Clean sheet as well. And then they lost to Burnley. And I was really, really surprised because I was expecting Sunderland to actually get a result against Burnley. I actually said Sunderland to beat Burnley, but they didn't. And then they come from behind to beat Brentford 2-1. And honestly, this Premier League is unpredictable. You don't know what to expect in this Premier League. You don't know what to expect. You don't know. Anything could happen. You get me? So, big up to them for beating Brentford 2-1. 2 home wins, 1 lost away, but then they'll back off from it. You get me? Now, let's talk about who's next. Tottenham Hotspur. Spurs are doing good. I don't know why I'm saying it. They destroyed Burnley 3-0. Richarlison was the star man for that game. Honestly, what a goal that was. They won to City, which I didn't see coming. I was actually shocked. They being City. Now that's back-to-back wins against Manchester City. And then he lost to Bournemouth 1-0. And I'm sorry, that performance was so poor against Bournemouth. I was expecting Tottenham to get 3-3, but they didn't. This is why you can't predict what. Expect the unexpected. That's how they say in football. Expect the unexpected, because big teams could actually kill you from it. Now, next team after that. Forest. Nottingham Forest. 1 win, 1 draw, 1 lost. So, they won against Brentford, and I thought it was a good home win for them. They drew against Palace, fair result. But then they lost 3-0 to West Ham. And 3 goals in 7 minutes for West Ham. I didn't even see that coming. I expected Forest to beat West Ham. But like I said, expect the unexpected. The Forest, what happened at West Ham? Literally, what happened against West Ham? Now, what's what I'm talking about? West Ham. West goddamn Ham. West Ham, they are struggling. 3-0 lost against Sunderland. 5-1 lost against Chelsea. Beat Forest 3-0. That game against Sunderland, they got destroyed badly. That game against Chelsea, they got destroyed very badly again. Awfully. And then they bounced back against Nottingham Forest. So I'll put my hands up saying I did not expect you lot to be Forest, but big up to you lot for beating them. Now, the last team, Wolverhampton Wanderers. 3 losses. They're struggling badly. Like, they lost against who did they lose against? They lost to City 4-0. They lost to what did they lose to? They lost against so they lost to City 4-0. See, Wolves lost to City. Yeah, they lost to Bournemouth 1-0, and then they lost to Everton 3-2. It's worrying times to be a Wolves fan. It's worrying times to be a Wolves fan, honestly. Like, it's just tough. Like, I know we expected City to destroy them. Bournemouth was a tough game for them. And then they lost to Everton. Without Cunha, without their left back, I forgot his name, El Nutri, the Wolves are struggling. The only key player they got is Larson. Like, Larson, that's the only good player from them. They got a lot to fix on. Wolves, they got a lot to fix on. So, that is my review of each team in the Premier League. Yeah, so these are my honest reviews of what I think about each team in the Prem. They got to Liverpool and Chelsea being undefeated. Arsenal should be disappointed in themselves. But we shall see what happens in the next couple of weeks in the Prem. So it should be interesting. Make sure you smash a like. More content to come from me. I am out.